Welcome to Uncle Bird's Barbecue, and I'm your favorite uncle, Uncle Bird. In today's video, we're going to cover how to smoke chicken wings on the Weber Kettle. Keep in mind this technique will work on any charcoal grill. So let's go ahead and get started. Today, we have a family pack of chicken wings. First thing we need to do is take the chicken out of the pack, and we're using bigger wings. One of the things you want to keep in mind is that when you're smoking or grilling wings, you really want to use a bigger wing because it's going to stand up to the smoking and grilling process and it'll still remain juicy. We're going to be using a plastic cutting board, a 6-inch boning knife, and a pair of OXO good grip poultry shears to prepare the chicken wings. We're mainly going to use the boning knife to scrape the wings clean and to remove any remaining feathers. You want to make sure you get into the crevices and remove the yellow bits and any remaining feathers. Now, as far as cutting up the wings, the poultry shears are going to be a better option for cutting, in my opinion, because one, they're a little bit safer to use, and you don't have to worry about sharpening them and knowing how to sharpen a knife. They stay pretty sharp. You just got to keep the shears closed when you're not using them so the edge does not get chipped. We will be using whole wings cut in 3 different ways. The first way is what I call a party cut, which means that the wing will be cut into individual sections and the wing tip is discarded or used for stock. The second cut will be a Hooters style cut, which has a drumette cut from the wingette, but it's still going to have the wing tip attached. And the third cut is what I call the love cut, which is basically it has the drumette and the wingette together, but the wing tip is cut off and discarded or used for stock. And you're going to want to use your poultry shears at this point to make all your cuts. You just want to make sure that you're cutting at the joint so that it makes a real clean cut. Now, the advantage that all 3 of these cuts have over just leaving the wing whole is that they allow the wings to lay flat, which is going to give us better airflow and allow us to really pile the wings on top of each other so they're self-based and they don't get caught. You don't have the little tip end that gets caught in the grate as often. The brine we're making today is simply plain salt and water. No need for any type of special salts because they're all going to work and taste the same. I just use cheap iodized salt. To make our brine, we're going to use a 2-cup clear measuring cup and a 5-quart mixing bowl. Take your measuring cup, pour in 1 cup of water, and then you can pour in any type of plain salt as long as it's a plain salt. And you're just going to pour that salt until the water reaches the 1.5 cup mark. You'll mix it with a spoon and pour into your 5-quart mixing bowl. And then we'll add water until it reaches the 4-quart mark, which is a gallon. You want to stir well, and then you'll add that brine to the chicken that has been placed into the Ziploc bag. Today we'll be cooking on the 22-inch Weber Kettle Classic. Now, you want to open up the bottom vent all the way, and you want to add the bottom grate so that it can hold our hardwood charcoal. Place a hickory split on the grill, which is going to be used to hold our hardwood charcoal, and it's going to also add flavor as the wood burns. And we're using hardwood briquettes because it only has a vegetable binder and it won't have the chemical taste that you normally get in regular charcoal. And I'm using hickory. You want to use a strong wood like oak or hickory because the chicken is really not going to be on the grill for a long time and we want to get the maximum amount of flavor in there while we can. So go ahead and fill your chimney up with some hardwood charcoal. I'll go ahead and pour about 2/3 of the unlit coals on the side of the hardwood split. Now you can use a couple pieces of newspaper or paper to light the remaining about 1/3 that remains in the chimney starter. And after your charcoals have turned white, you want to pour all of the unlit coals on top of the coals that have not been lit. Now the coals will burn down like a candle wick, and that'll help with your temperature control. You'll have a lot more even temperatures, and you don't have to worry about having any type you don't have to worry about having the taste of any type of accelerant like lighter fluid. Now, I do want the wood to start burning before I put the top on to preheat the grill for cleaning. Use a ball of aluminum foil to clean the grill if you don't have a grill brush. Now, put the top back on so the heat can stabilize, and now we can remove our chicken from the brine and season it up. Today, to season our chicken, I'm using Uncle Bird's henpeck season, which is basically a mix of granulated garlic, granulated onion, various seasonings and spices, plus a whole lot of love. Now, you have to use a salt-free seasoning or the chicken's gonna be way too salty. Again, for the people in the back and those that ain't paying attention, use a salt-free seasoning. And if you're not sure if your favorite rub contains salt or not, all you gotta do is turn around and look at the ingredient list. So if you don't have a salt-free rub, a real easy, quick, delicious rub that you can use is to simply use 1 part granulated onion, 1 part granulated garlic, and 1/2 part of black pepper. Don't have to be super high quality. You can use that black pepper dust you get in a little tin can. Now, you want to go ahead and season your chicken liberally with your salt-free seasoning of choice. Go ahead and place them in a bowl, toss them up a little bit, and now that we know our grill is hot and the smoke is blue, we can go ahead and add our chicken wings. Now, for the chicken wings, just so that you're aware, I always leave my top and bottom vents wide open because chicken is going to be cooked best hot and fast. Does not have a lot of the fat and connective tissues that other meats have. Now, we'll want to rotate the chicken during the cooking process, and I generally use a clockwise rotation with the wings. So it's a clockwise, rotating them towards and away from the fire. And then I also make use of a pile to self-baste the wings that are on top of each other. So by piling them on top of each other, when the fat melts, it'll basically be basting the wings that are beneath it. And this also will help prevent overcooking. Now, throughout the cook, we're going to spray a couple times with distilled white vinegar. I just use plain vinegar. And before you make the first spray, you want to just make sure that your wings, the skin is already dry. So before you do the first spray, again, make sure that the wings are dry. And as long as they're dry, you can go ahead and spray them. And what that'll do is, one, the vinegar is going to tenderize the chicken while it's cooking, and it's also going to keep the surface wet. And as long as your surface is wet, it'll continue to absorb the tasty hardwood smoke. Now, you're going to want to go ahead and check the final temperature using an instant read thermometer. And then as long as we hit 162 degrees, you can go ahead and take them off, because the carryover cooking will carry them to the final temperature, to the final safe temperature of 165 degrees. You just want to remember, food is cooked by temperature, not time. We're just using time as a way to estimate the final temperature. But again, you still want to use an instant read thermometer to check it just to make sure. Now that the wings are finished, at this point, you can go ahead and, well, you don't want to just eat them because it's too damn hot. But you can go ahead and place them in the microwave so they can rest for a few minutes. So that it gives the heat and the juices a chance to redistribute throughout the meat. But honestly, the best way to rest them is to use a preheated cooler. Basically what you do is you use a small cooler that you went ahead and placed some hot water in it, and you close the top, leave it closed for about 30 minutes. You pour the water out, dry, and drop in your chicken, and you just let it rest for about 15 minutes. But if you can't wait, that's fine. You can go ahead and dig in, and that way your skin will be crispy. So there you have it. That's going to be about the size of it. If you've got any questions, please feel free to leave me a comment. And if you found value in this video, please give your uncle a like and subscribe to the channel. And watch the next video.